Another episode of The Road to Nowhere. Just thought I'd give you another update, as when I was driving home, I was like, this is definitely the time where I need to sit in front of the phone and just like get some shit off my brain, off my chest. But yeah, no, shit's been going pretty well recently with Anti Studio. I've joined the guys there, so there's Ash, George, and Tay, and everyone covers a different element of the business. You've got like more of the design and performance side, you've got the operations side, the creative, and then the sales. I've been doing the sales for the guys, and so far so good. I mentioned it on a previous video, but we've been getting some big clients in. A lot of it I've been like teeing up and setting the appointments, and then sitting on the sales calls. But mainly it's been Ash who's been closing, just because of his technical knowledge, and really that's what you're buying. For me, I'm just good at right place, right time, and teeing shit up, asking questions, feedback, and then bomb, we hit a call, or we just go direct. But yeah, that's something that I'm working on, is getting better at the technical side of like the e-commerce business and the actual offer that we have, which is like conversion rate optimization, so CRO, increasing people's sales for e-commerce brands by building them landing pages. And yeah, that's been going well. So I think we've got like 6 or 7 clients now that we've got projects for, and we've actually moved to like a all payment up front because shit's been getting serious. I'm going to start putting in, I think, a 2 to 4 week waiting list, just so we have time on our side and we're not rushed and we're not pushed for deadlines. I'm also going to be taking care of more of the like day-to-day project, what's happening, what's going on, what we're getting done today. So more of the crack of the whip, because the other guys in the team are fucking superstars. But I think if I can jump in there and add a bit of not stability, but like order, and then also for me, because I'm in sales, as soon as it gets to me, like I'm kind of like, bomb, my job is done, when really I need to have more of an involvement with it, and that will just help me get further with that area of the business, and then leading into a bit of account management, sending briefs, sending invoices, and then handing it off. But more or less it'll be like the 10 o'clock daily stand-up. It'll be like, where are we at with this client, who's doing this, what needs to get done, are we behind the schedule, are we ahead, have they paid, blah 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 blah. You get the picture. So just more involvement, getting more hands-on with it. One of the guys just quit his job, so he's gone all in as well. So there's essentially 4 of us working almost 8 to 12 to 14 hours a day. So this shit should go well, and if the projections are right, then the business should be really profitable very soon. The model is good. They have some expert advisors or consultants that come in for each level. So I believe it's after the research stage, the design stage, like the first draft, we get an expert consultant in, and they give their 2 cents on what they think. So they spend 15 minutes having a look over what's been done, then they give 15 minutes giving their opinion on what can change and what can go forward. So it's a good little USP and a value add for any customers. And we've got some really cool brands. One of them is a paddle brand, so so selling paddle courts, usually from Sweden, and then going to different countries and setting them up, because it's really big right now. So it's a great time to be in, and the branding's really cool. So I'm really excited for that one to kick off. We've also got a guy who does part of their team who does renders on the side as well. So that's also a huge hook. But business is good, but as with any startup, there'll be some bottlenecks and some hiccups. So it's just managing them and making sure that that doesn't affect any clients. It's more just us with the teething problems, getting the processes and the systems dialed in. And I'm not sure if what I mentioned on the previous video, but what's happening at the moment is obviously we're getting this working, we're getting it done, but it takes a while for the payments to come through, for Stripe to release the money, for contractors to get paid. And for me right now, I just need some cash flow, need some money. So what I've done is go from going to Oz, and then I'm like, fuck, I'm like, sack that shit off. And now it's like, now I'm going into full-time sales, lead gen, business development, partnership, whatever you want to call it, for Anti-Studio. And most of my time will be spent on scraping data, getting leads, messaging people, especially agencies, just because of the stability that they provide for cash flow, and then hitting up some more bespoke brands that we actually want to work with on a longer term level, but they're usually more per project, but less frequent. So we also have the extras of like handling the ads, doing the ad creative, doing the full build, the build and the landing page is really good, and the design, the branding, and renders, like I said. So there's a lot of good stuff going on, and the offer is great. But right now, like today, I went down to £50 in my account. I had to ask Fred for a loan. He doesn't deep it, but I deep it because as much as I don't mind owing some money to the bank, and I owe a fair bit of money to the bank, I might as well have got a student loan. It's different as a person who I consider myself reliable, mainly reliable. It's something, especially as I stopped drinking, I was like, fair, like now I can actually like do as I say, and I'm actually going to achieve this. But since stopping drinking, I've never had less money. I'm not saying I'm going to go drink to make more money. That's not the correlation that I see. That's not the pattern that I want to follow. But like this is just like the slump before the growth. I'm not going to give exact numbers, but if everything comes as expected, it will be something along the lines of around 100k a month in terms of projects. At the moment, we're obviously a bit less than that. But if everything comes in, if everything was perfect, it would be around that $100,000 a month mark. Right now we're sitting more around 35. We've got another couple of projects coming in, but for me a bottleneck for me is that I don't know enough about the pricing, what's going on in the market, some technical stuff, what people can actually do, how long it's going to take. So as soon as I learn like a bit more about the management of the timings, then I can add a lot more. Right now I'm literally setting appointments and sweetening the deal and just doing a little bit of to and fro with the customers. So yeah, that's good. But yeah, like I said, like having to ask Fred to borrow money. So I've got a few little bits, like I've got to pay rent that's coming up. I've got to do a visa trip. So I'm going to probably go to Oz and see JJ for a few days. I can stay with him. He can get me from the airport. It's a bit more expensive for the flight, but like on the back end, I haven't seen JJ in so long. And it would be great to see him. I feel like, not that I owe it to him, but he's always come to see me. So I need to go do that. It's a couple £100 more, which right now isn't ideal, but he said he'd pick me up from the airport, we can train together, I can live with him for a few days and then come back on my new visa. So the visa's a D12 and that would be good. So then I'm solidified for another 6 months, but then yeah, moving into a new place, so then there's like £400 on rent, got to pay for my bike, got to pay for the gym and all this shit. So I'm just trying to consolidate what I'm doing, not go too crazy, not like I'm not going out anyway, but like not going and fucking spending unnecessary money when I don't need to. But for the business, it needs more cash flow. That's why I asked Fred rather than borrowing it from the business, so we can keep the cash flow there to pay for the contractors, pay for the business being set up in Hong Kong, and then go from there. But really, I'm just telling you because it was on my mind. I really fucking appreciate Fred lending me some cash, which that sort of stuff doesn't like, I don't take that lightly. I wrote a LinkedIn post on it about having good mates. So I'm very fortunate that I have good mates. Obviously, partly that comes from me, but partly that, most of it comes from them really. And like, I literally said, bam, can I ask you a financial favor? It was like, how much? I was like, 1.5. He's like, done. That sort of reliability and friendship is like not to be fucking snarled at. Like, you can't turn your nose up at that. Like, people who will fucking do anything for you at a drop of a hat, that shit is rare. So yeah, I felt a bit not like derailed, but like compared to yesterday when I got another couple of good meetings in the diary, we were getting cash paid up front. It was like I was way more ecstatic. I'm way happier. But right now it's not like I'm in a bad place. Obviously financially I'm not in a great place, but I'm pretty good at decompressing from that and like not letting it affect my day to day and still getting what I need to get done. But as a whole, it's just not how I want to be doing things. So I feel like this is a bit of a turning point for me. Like I was always good with money and always made good money and didn't go crazy spends. But then the last few years I kind of lost my way a bit, and I don't want to change or begrudge that, but it's like the extremes. I go from really good to pretty much not really bad, and I need to find myself somewhere in the middle. And I know it's just like going to the extremes, and then I usually kilter into the middle, but that's how I want to do it. And then right now the way I'm feeling is not like bad, but a bit embarrassed, I guess. Not that Fred gives a fuck, which is lovely, but I don't want to be putting people in a position where I owe them. Basically, I don't even, if people owe me, I'm a bit of a fucking like, come on, let's get it paid. Like I'm still owed 1,500 quid from a client, but I think I've got it all handled. I've got good people around me that can help me out, and I'm also just trying to bring a lot to the table, which I do, but it's easy to overlook when like really the only thing that actually matters is can you support yourself? Like how are you going to look after a family if you can't even look after yourself? So I need to have a big think about that. So when I start making more money, I need to be the person that can actually look after that money and not be so frivolous with things. But I wouldn't be here right now. I wouldn't have met the team. We wouldn't be building. I wouldn't have helped bring on these big clients if I hadn't done that. So it's all a lesson, all an experience. But it's just like in my mind, I'm like, the more I vocalize it, the better I can feel about it. And also I can make sure that I'm actually addressing it. Like anything not addressed always becomes a huge issue. So addressing it, not going to dwell on it. I've got a plan, I've got stuff going. I'm going to keep on doing, keep on grinding, like working as much as possible, training as much as possible, and just noticing when I have these times when I want to do like bad shit. For example, buying a pack of cigarettes earlier is not good for me. Like I know they're not, and I chuff them like it's going out of fashion, and they're going to make me suck in the gym. They're going to make me smell like shit, and they're just going to be a negative experience. My mates hate them as well, which is good, but also I'm not exactly showing them that I'm handling my shit by then going and smoking. But it's a minor. But I do notice that it's something that when I've got more cash coming in and I have more money, I'm way nicer to myself than when I'm low, because it's like you have to, I don't know why the brain does it, but it like makes you treat yourself worse in times of when it doesn't need to be treated worse, if that makes sense. But yeah, there you go, the road to nowhere. Really, we're on a great trajectory. The team is great, the work is great, everything's getting delivered so far, and it's just keeping an eye on it and making sure that we mitigate as many hiccups beforehand. So the main thing that I can do there, like I said before, is handle more of the day-to-day, what's getting done, crack the whip, bam, why isn't this done, how is this getting done? And then also for me, like the guys in the team, they're more technical than I am, and they're doing the hard yards for now. I have a lot of questions for them. So if I can get all of my questions in the 10 a.m. when I have their undivided attention and time, then I need to ask less of their questions throughout the day. I also do find myself just wanting to chat and have a chin wag every now and then, which is obviously great, but for them when they need to be getting work done, it's not helpful. So having more of the project-faced role is helpful. We're going to set some milestones, so like a 6-month challenge or a 6-month trip where we go and do something. Annapurna, I think, was mentioned, but that sounds a bit hectic. I don't know what the scope on that would be like, but it would still be unreal and great for the agency. As well as that, I've been pushing some of the social media, getting my skills in Figma set up, because we are a performance design agency. You know, it has to look good, it has to be on point, the branding has to be nice. So I'm just upskilling myself there, and also documenting it like this. All of my financials are on TikTok, which is jokes, exposing your bank account on TikTok like that. Instagram's a little bit more wishy-washy. I'm just keeping that one real because I don't really see the growth on it. I much prefer the YouTube format, and TikTok is just a good place to air it out without making it too compromising. But yeah, as a whole, I feel good. I feel much better now getting that shit out, but it's on the up. It's just there's a few more weeks, let's say, of tougher times until we get the ball really moving and pushing forward. But this is the time for me where I need to push more, take more involvement, more accountability, more responsibility, more training, more forward thinking, more mitigating anything that's coming up, like I said. But yeah, that's it from me. Love you lots. If you like this sort of stuff, then subscribe and you can see more of it. I'm going to be continually doing it. If you have any sort of ideas or thoughts or stuff that would help, drop it in the comments. If you want to follow the actual financial from being basically broke to 10k a month, and that's all on the TikTok. And then yeah, apart from that, much love you lots. Make sure the company you keep is unreal, the ride or dies, and I'll see you soon. Thanks.